So there's our question. So here's section 2.2. Question number 1. It'll be the same for you, just different numbers. So basically they're wanting us, they're reminding us how you plug into functions. Those parentheses to the right, that minus 14 is plugged in to the x slot, isn't it? Remember how function notation works? I'll remind you of it. When they write h of x is 2x, those x's are holding a spot is what they're doing. In other words, let me draw it this way. This is what they could have said. This is really...
So they're tied into one another.
Yeah, it's like, you know what the analogy I always make is like a toaster. You put, toaster has, these holes right here are like the holes in the top of a toaster. Whatever you plug in, we're putting in a negative 14. Whatever you plug in slides over to here, and you do whatever's over there, in this case, times it by 2. Does that make sense? So whatever, that's how functions work. Wherever the x is, that's like the holes in a toaster. Whatever you plug in slides down to wherever the x is on the other side, and then you just do whatever the other side tells you to do. In this case, it's multiply by 2. So it's going to be 2 times minus 14, negative 28. That's part A. Let's try part B. Part B says, okay, now put a 9 into the toaster. Same function, same toaster. Now they're saying, now plug 9 into the toaster and see what you get out. So when we plug in 9, again, you put a 9 in here. The 9 slides down right next to the 2, and it's 2 times 9 is 18. So basically, anything you plug into this function is going to be times by 2, isn't it? That's what this function is saying. And yeah, so I'm going to move on then. Is that good? Questions on that one? Part C is the same thing. All right. Number 2. Let me make it bigger for you. F of x equals 2x squared minus 2x. And part A, they're saying put in f of 0. Okay, so we're going to plug in 0. So they want you to plug in 0. So where does that 0 go? Both the x spots. So both those x spots you'll plug in 0 and 0. And then just work out the right side. This will be 0, isn't it? So I put parentheses around whatever I'm plugging in. That's just going to be 0 minus 0. It's just 0. Let's try part B. Part B says f of negative 1. That's more tricky. So now, same function. Now plug in negative 1. So plug in negative 1. Is that good so far? We see what I'm doing there? How I just put negative 1 in parentheses in the 2 spots where there was an x. So that's what those x's are. They're where you plug things in.
So now you're just changing the number until you find what you're looking for, or what is
Well, yeah, good question. Whatever they put in the parentheses. So so this x means whatever is in the parentheses is going to go there, and it's going to go. Whoops. There. So whatever numbers, when they put negative 1 in these parentheses, that negative 1 will go right there, and it'll go right there. Yeah, so that x is holding a spot. It's saying whatever you put in these parentheses, put in x in both cases. So then I just work out the right side. Okay, so how do you work this out? What is negative 1 squared? Yeah, negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. So that's 2 times positive 1, or regular 1, same thing. And then minus 2 times minus 1?
2.
Positive 2. Yeah, 2 negatives multiply to be positive. So that's going to be 2 plus 2. It's 4, isn't it? So you put in negative 1, you get out. You don't have to write out, but I mean, that's what you do get out of the function, is 4. Put in negative 1, put the negative 1 in both x spots, work it all out, and you get 4. Let's try another one. How about f of 2? So now same function. Now put in 2 in both the x's. Everything else is still there. The 2's that are in the front of the x squared and the x, they're still there. And in addition, we're now putting a 2 where x's and where x's. So whatever's in the parentheses goes where the x's are. Yeah?
So how do you want the format answer to like f of 2 equals
I think they just want on the Math Excel, I think they just want the final answer. Just the 4, you just type in 4, I believe. Yeah. Just in 4 also? It's a funny coincidence. Okay. So 2 minus 2. So I'll get it set up. So everybody see how I got it set up there? So I just copied down, except I just, right where the x was where I just put blanks. Because that's what the x's are. They're like blanks. They're slots where you put stuff in, huh? And then I'll just put in this 2 here and there. Is that making sense? And then you just work it out from there. So what is that? 2 squared is 4, and 2 times 2 is 4. What's that? 8 minus 4. Yeah, you guys are right. It's 4. Again. Is that good? Everybody see what I did there and plugging in and working out? All right. All right, so they're giving me this formula. You don't even need to read those words. Blah, 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 whatever. P of D, I'm just going to grab this formula here. P of D is 1 plus D over 33. I don't care what the words say. Blah, 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 blah. Pressure, and then here's their question. What's the pressure find the pressure at 150 feet? So that 150, what is that 150? Well, it's feet. And what is feet? Look right here. Right here, actually. D is feet. Yeah, that's all you need. That's how I survived physics. So I just watched the units. Oh, D's feet. Oh, this is feet. Ah, that's D. Right? Yeah. We don't need to know the whole fancy formula. It's just feet. With feet, units can be helpful. That's the first class where I discovered that units were my friends, actually. I kind of didn't like them before then. But physics, I was like, whoa, they're helpful. I don't know what these formulas are, but I know feet goes with feet. So, yeah, 150 feet, D's feet, so put in a 150. So basically they're saying plug 150 in for D, please. That's what they're saying. So let's do that. So it'll equal 1 plus 150 over 33. Now that's ugly. What do they want me to do? Oh, they want me to, notice, they'll tell you the format they want the answer in. Like, is the decimal okay here? No, not on this one. It will sometimes they will be okay. But see what they say here? Simplified fraction. Type an integer, like a whole number, or a simplified fraction. So I've got to make this into one fraction. How do you add a whole number and a fraction? Common denominator, right? Make this 1 over 1. That's the same. I haven't changed. It's just that's still 1. And you got to make the bottoms the same in order to add them, right? Remember that kind of stuff? So what am I going to do? Yeah, multiply top and bottom by 33. So it'll become 33 over 33 plus 150 over 33. Then you can add them 183 over 33. Oh, that's reducible, isn't it? Yeah, by 3. Use your calculator. It's a 61 over 11. There we go. Now you just got to reduce.
So we have to reduce.
Yeah.
If they're reducible, we have to reduce.
You have to reduce. Yeah. If you type in an answer that's not reduced, Math Excel will give you the. There's a certain message it always gives. It's the although, but it'll say although your answer is equivalent to the real answer, it's not simplified. It's a very frustrating message. 61 over 11. Yeah, you got to reduce. A lot of calculators will do it automatically. HP natural display. No, not HP. Casio natural display. That one's super nice. It just does it automatically. You don't need to buy that one, but if you're gonna buy a calculator, that's just as cheap as any of the other, $10, $12, Walmart, Target, bookstore, and it's super easy. That Casio natural display. And there's a TI one that does it as well. I can't remember which TI it is. Yeah, that one looks like it might be one that does it. I forget exactly, but for sure the Casio natural display. Here on number 6, this section, this 2.2, is all about functions. So they're giving me f of x equals negative 3x minus 3. Let me write it here a little bigger. Negative 3x minus 3. And they want me to graph it. So how am I going to graph it? Well, do you know what f of x is? It's the same as y. That's the main thing I wanted to say. And you guys already know it, a lot of you. Yeah, that's the same thing as, it's just y. Function letters, f of x, g of x, h of it, doesn't matter. Any function letter, the whole thing, not just the f part, but the whole f of x is replaced by y. Why? Well, that's just common agreement in the math science world. There's not really a logical reason for that.
So if it was
They just agreed.
Like G, J,
Yeah, that's right. If it was g of x, j of x, anything, there was just agreement in the math science world that function letters will be played by the rule of y when it comes to graphing. Yep, you just make them a y. That's just by common agreement. So that's y. So you already know how to do that, right? Right? Like, is that going to be? That's going to be a straight line, isn't it? Where would we start? Start here. Put this over 1, rise over run. I'm going to go dot, dot, dot because I'm running out of time. I want to show you the other ones. But my point is it's not new. It's exactly what we did in the last section. Just make that a y in the front. Know that. Yeah, so here we go. We have f of x equals 5 minus x squared. What do you want me to graph? So what am I supposed to do with that f of x?
Make it a y.
Make it a y. Yeah. So that's going to be y equals 5 minus x squared. And now you know how to graph from there. Yeah, now, which ones were v's and which ones were u shapes?
This is the U shape.
The square.
Yeah, x squared is a u shape, and the absolute value was the v. They're very similar. Yeah, so I'm gonna make a table, right? Remember the two different strategies for graphing. This one is not a line, is it?
No, it's a table.
Because of the x squared. So I'm gonna make a table. Yeah, if it was a line, I would do the slope thing. But if it's not a line, I make a table. So go ahead and make a table real quick. Look at x, y table.
And then we do 0, 1.
Yeah, exactly. So make a little XY table, put in 0, 1, we might not even need them all. Oh yeah, all we need is the 0. This is going to be so easy. So put in 0. Yeah. 5, now where does the 0 go? In the x spot, huh? So y equals 5 minus 0 squared. Y is 5. So which one of those graphs had, remember, it's over and up, huh? Which one of those graphs has the point over 0, up 5? Yeah, A does. This point right here, over 0, up 5. None of the other graphs have a point that goes over 0 and then up. So the answer is A. All we needed was that one point. So there's nothing new in this section. You just make those f of x, g of x into y, and you do what we did in the last section.